Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to build probably one of the smallest patios we've ever built. So it's about 120 square feet. This customer had like Home Depot 16 by 16 pavers here. So we removed all of them, did our base, and now today we are ready to start laying our 3/8 and then laying the pavers. So one thing that's slightly different about this job is the customer had a budget. So when we gave them a price, unfortunately they weren't able to do it. So they said, we really want to go with you. They've been customers for years. So what we decided to do is we had some leftover pavers at the shop. So I had to kind of get a little creative to figure out how we can cover the square footage based on the pavers that we have. So we're doing a kind of a unique design. We have 6 by 6 as the outside border, and then we have a 4.5 by 9 as an inside border. We're going to do that in a sailor pattern. So soldier means they're like this, sailor means they're like that. So we're going to do 6 by 6, 6 by 9, or 4.5 by 9, and then we're going to do the Cambridge Ledgestone XL as the field. So if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. All right, so yesterday I wasn't here, so I have no video of it, but basically the guys removed the patio that was existing, dug everything out, installed our geofabric, which is over there, and then we installed 3/4. Now we're ready to install the 3/8. So what we do is we take gas pipe like this, which is very strong. When we first started, I made the mistake of buying conduit, which obviously can bend. So we use gas pipe, use a level, and basically make sure, in this case, obviously we're against the house, we want everything to go away from the house. So what we're gonna do is we have the gas pipe down, I have my level, we're gonna fine tune these a little bit, and then what we're gonna do is screed the 3/8 so that way we get a perfectly level sub base before we lay the pavers down. I'm just using, I mean, this is an expensive level, this is a Stabila, but just get like an 8-foot level or 4-foot depending upon the size that you're doing. And what we're gonna do is put this down, and you can hear, hopefully, it's rocking a little bit. So we want, obviously, the bubble to be on this side of the line, so that means everything's sloped that way. Here I just have a little tamper, so what we're gonna do is kind of tamp this down a little bit and get rid of that rock. So there's still a little bit. So what I can do is actually put a little 3/8 underneath this pipe here, lift this up, and then, yep, got rid of that. And then in this case, obviously we're kind of in this corner here, so we definitely don't want it sloped this way. If it's level or slightly pitched that way, that will suffice. Most of my videos are for homeowners or DIYers. When you have a level, there's 2 lines on it. Basically, in this case, we want the bubble to be closer to the line on the right, which tells us that it's sloped that way. We do not want the bubble on the left line because that means it would be going towards the house. All right, so now that these are ready to go, what we're gonna do is wheelbarrow in the 3/8, and I'll show you how to screed it. So hopefully you can hear me over the machine, but as you can see, Delmar is dumping in the center. And then what we're gonna do, we already have some on the pipe to prevent them from rolling. And then this is called, we call it a come along, but also I guess the proper name is a concrete rake. And this is great because you can see it's flat here, but we can obviously pull the stone or push the stone. So I'm just gonna work this into place. Now the other thing you can do is if you can't afford or don't have a big level, try to find the straightest 2x4 that you can, and then use that, because that's about $4, and then you can use a 2-foot or 4-foot level on top of that. Now, something to keep in mind, obviously this is for a paying customer. We are licensed professionals, so obviously we're gonna do it the right way. If you're in a house, it's your house and you're working on it alone, this is back-breaking work, especially if you don't have the machines that we have. Obviously the 3/4 stone is extremely heavy and labor intensive. The dig out is extremely heavy and labor intensive. So at the very, very least, you could do a little bit of a dig out, and I recommend the 3/8 over like a sand or like a stone dust for multiple reasons. But basically, at the very least, what I would do is excavate at least the grass out, rent a compactor, compact it, put the geo down. That will basically help with bridging. So if there's like a low spot in your soil, it will stay on top, keeping everything flat. It'll obviously help with weeds and stone migration, meaning the 3/8 getting compressed into the soil. So at the very least, definitely use geofabric and the 3/8, but if you want to do it the right way, definitely excavate down 8 inches, use 3/4 clean in the geo, and exactly the way that we're doing it here. All right, so now that we're ready to do this, we're going to take our level and kind of just pull all the excess back like this, and you can see how we're left with a perfectly smooth line, opposed to the 3/8 that might have some highs and lows in it. So you just want to keep this and pull and kind of do a little flick. And then once we get this all done, we're going to slide the pipes back. And then obviously the pipes, where the pipes are, there's going to be a void. So again, we take that bucket and just kind of fill it and trowel it smooth. And then once you get to something like this, you can see it's a little low. So we kind of stop, put the level there as a reminder that we got to fill that area right there. All right, now that this side's done, we'll take the pipe out, and then the other ones will slide back. So the one thing with 3/8 is you shouldn't, but you can walk on it, opposed to like a screen or a sand or stone dust, whatever you want to call it. Your footprint will obviously compress it. Therefore, you'll have a low spot and your pavers will reflect that. So what we're doing here is I'm just putting some temporary stepping stones in so I can get to the corner, because the corner is obviously going to dictate the 90 degrees in parallel with the house. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start in the corner, come out this way a little bit, and then go all the way down this wall, and then we will build off of that. All right, now you can start to see it kind of take shape. So as I said earlier in the video, we did along the wall, the foundation wall first, because obviously that can't be changed or altered. So we use that as our 90 or our starting point. We did the 6x6s, then the 4.5x9s, and then the field. Again, the 4.5x9s are what we call a sailor pattern going this way. And now we're just going to kind of wrap around and go around. So typically I prefer kind of squiggly lines, snakes if you will, but obviously the prior patio was this exact shape, so that's what the customer wanted and that's where we're going to keep it. All right, now with the field done is what we call these. I'm going to start with the 4.5x9 and then we're going to go to the 6x6s. Now you might be noticing, I mean I do have a mallet next to me, but you might be noticing that some of them are not exactly perfectly level. If we're fortunate enough to have a tamper that has a pad on it, so what we're going to do is essentially lay everything, then put the poly sand in, and then tamp it with a pad. If you go to a hardware store and rent a tamper, I know guys that have put plywood down on top of the pavers. They've used old carpet remnants or burlap bags. Obviously you want to prevent breaking or chipping or scuffing the pavers. So the rental place might have pads attachments for their tampers, but if they don't, those are some alternatives that you can do. Now I will say, obviously, you can see the amount of dust kicked up. Definitely wear a mask. Now, I don't know if you caught that, but that tamper can go forward or reverse, which most tampers can only go forward. So when you get close to a house like this or an object, whatever the case may be, to be able to hit reverse is definitely a plus. All right, so you can see that all the sand that was in the joints has now settled to the bottom. So we're gonna reapply on top, broom it all in, then blow it off, and then hose it down. One other thing, so when using the tampers, whether you have a pad or plywood or burlap or carpet or whatever, there is a rare chance that it might break a block. So you definitely want to confirm that all the blocks are good to go. before you wet the sand. And you also might be noticing that the pavers are gray, but we're using beige poly sand. You can get poly sand pretty much any color, but customers specifically asked for beige, maybe to match the siding, but I want to work all the sand in. Now, I will say, as you can see that I'm going with the joints, it's not ideal. You kind of want to go on a 45, because you don't really, it's kind of like grouting. You don't really want to go straight with it, because then you'll pull it out. And that's a wrap. So what we're gonna do is, obviously there's some dirt exposed, so we're gonna have a landscape crew come by and finish this up, but this is what the finished product looks like. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe.